Hi, welcome. It's Stephanie and this is lesson 29. So we have a vocabulary lesson and our topic today is going to be the body. My name's Stephanie. This is level B2, upper intermediate, and we are on lesson 29 of the course. So in lesson 29, you will expand your vocabulary for parts of the body. Now, I know you're going to know lots of parts, like head, for example, but this is upper intermediate level, so we need to push the vocabulary further. There's also going to be a focus on pronunciation in this lesson, and we are going to have a look at some idiomatic expressions that use body parts. So this is a very interesting thing to look at, and it's something that adds a lot of authenticity to your English if you use these, but use them correctly. So we're going to have a focus on that as well. So lots to do in our lesson today. Let's start with some vocabulary. Okay, I'm going to give you 1 minute. Think about your body. How many parts can you name? Can be internal, external, I don't mind. Pause the slide and write a list and see how many body parts you can name in 1 minute. Okay, how many did you have? How many could you think of in a minute? Well, obviously there's lots and lots and lots. So hopefully your list was very long. Well done if you had more than 20. Let's have a look at some of the words that we're going to focus on today. Okay, so we have elbow, jaw and thigh, lungs, chin and heel, spine, armpit and kidney, and wrist, ankle and cheek. Were any of these words on your list? Well done if they were. Doesn't matter if they weren't. These are some of the words we're going to have a look at today. Now, what I'm asking you here is, where are these located on your body? They might be internal or external, but where are they located? So pause the slide and have a think. There might be a clue in the word, or you might have heard these words used in a different context, which might give you a hint, but pause the slide and see if you can think, where are these located? Okay, did you have any idea? Okay, well, I'm going to give you a clue. You have 4 options to choose from: face, arm, internal, or parts of the leg. So you can put 3 of these words into each category. 3 of them are parts of the face, 3 are connected to your arm, 3 are internal, and 3 are parts of your leg or foot. So hopefully that's a big clue, and perhaps you already knew this, but if you didn't, maybe you want to have a rethink. There should be 3 in each category. If you've got more than 3, then you need to change them. Okay, let's check through our answers together. So, parts of the leg, we have thigh. So thigh is the top part of your leg. Heel is the back part of your foot. And you might have come across this word, for example, if you think of high-heeled shoes. They're called high-heeled shoes because the back, the heel part, is high. And ankle, this is the region where your leg joins your foot. So it's the joint at the bottom where your leg joins your foot. And again, it's quite a common word to hear because it's very easy to injure your ankle. You can sprain your ankle, you can twist your ankle very, very easily. So again, it's a very useful word and a very common word that you might need to use. Face. So we have the chin, which is this part here. You have two cheeks and jaw. Well, this is this part here, your jawline. Your jaw is this part of your face. Internal, we have spine. Well, spine is a bone. It's your backbone that runs down your back. Kidney and lungs are both internal organs. So organ is a word we use to describe internal parts of your body, such as kidney or lungs. And finally, parts of the arm. The wrist is this part here. And again, perhaps you've heard wrist when you're thinking about a wrist watch. This is a wrist watch because I wear it on my wrist. Armpit. Now there's a big clue in the word here because it's got the word arm in it. Your armpit is your underarm here where you put your deodorant. And finally, elbow. Did anybody know? Yeah, elbow is this here. This joint here is your elbow. Really well done if you managed to identify where those parts are on your body. If you're still not sure, have a look online. I often suggest looking up words in a dictionary yourself because the act of looking something up helps you to remember it. You're more likely to remember a word that you looked up than a word you simply hear in passing. So if you're not sure, look it up, make a note. The more you do things like that, the more likely you are to remember, to retain the vocabulary. Good. Okay, so the next part, we're still thinking about parts of the body, but I'm going to give you a list of items and I'm asking where on the body would you put these? So let's have a look at the list of words and then I want you to tell me where on your body would you put these items? Okay. Blusher, flip-flops and bracelet. Shin pads and mascara. Sweatbands, a bow tie. Tights, belt and lip balm. Now, have you heard of these words? Where on your body would you put the following items? Pause the slide. There are 10 items there. So I need 10 parts of the body where you would put these items. How did you find that? Did you have to look some words up? No problem if you did. Let's check through the answers together. Okay, so blusher is for your cheeks. Blusher is makeup that you use to give your cheeks a colour. So in the winter time, for example, if you're wanting to give your cheeks a glow, you might put some blusher on your cheeks. Sweatbands. Well, sweat. Think of the word sweat. What is sweat? Sweat is if you're exercising and you start to perspire. So a sweatband is the item that you wear to absorb this. So it could be on your head here, or it could be on your wrists that you might use to absorb the sweat. So two possible answers, your forehead or your wrists. Flip-flops are on your feet. They're a type of footwear, typically on the beach and definitely in the summertime or when the climate is very hot. Flip-flops are very popular because they allow your feet to breathe. They're not enclosed. Bow tie. This is around your neck. It's something men wear, perhaps to a very formal event. If they're wearing a dinner jacket, they might wear a bow tie. Bracelet. type of jewellery you might have on your wrist. A belt, hopefully you all knew this one. This is on your waist. But did you know the body part waist? You wear a belt on your waist. So often, for example, if you're buying a belt, it will have the waist size written on it. Shin pads. Well, shin is the front part of your lower leg. So shin pads are what footballers, for example, wear. They're the pads, the protective pads that footballers wear to protect their legs in case they are kicked. So it's a form of protection that you wear on your leg. Tights are a form of clothing. In the wintertime, especially ladies will wear tights to cover their legs under their clothes. Mascara, another form of makeup. Mascara is, it comes in a tube, it's black, and ladies wear it to make their eyelashes look longer and darker. And lip balm. Well, big clue here because it includes the word lip. It's on your lips, on your mouth. And if, for example, it's a very dry or windy climate or sunny, you can wear lip balm to protect your lips. Really well done if you managed to get some of those right. Now we're going to practice. So I have some statements for you, but there are words missing. They're all words we've just looked at on that previous slide. So insert the correct item. Number 1, the athletes wore when they were exercising. Number 2, in the summertime, people wear on the beach. Number 3, it was a formal event, so men wore suits and... Number 4, doing her makeup, she put on and... Footballers wear to protect their legs. And for her birthday, she received jewellery, a necklace, and matching. So pause the slide, see if you can insert the correct item that we looked at on the previous slide. So if you're not sure, go back and have a look. If you think you can remember, insert the correct item from the slide into the gap. So pause the slide and then we will check together. Okay, let's have a look at the answers. Number 1, the athletes wore sweatbands when they were exercising. Remember, they're the things to absorb the sweat. In the summertime, people wear flip-flops on the beach. It was a formal event, so men wore suits and bow ties. Doing her makeup, she put on mascara and blusher. Footballers wear shin pads to protect their legs. And for her birthday, she received jewellery, a necklace and matching bracelets. Well done if you got those correct. Okay, so for the second part of the lesson, we're going to have a pronunciation focus. What do you notice about the pronunciation of these words? Palm, wrinkle, wrist, thumb, knee, knuckle, calf, muscle. Palm, wrinkle, wrist, thumb, knee, knuckle, calf, and muscle. What do you notice about the pronunciation of these words? Okay, Let's have a look at the phonetic script here. So see if you can pronounce these words. If you're not sure about the phonetic script, let's have a look at it in conjunction with the spelling. So the first one was palm. Look at the spelling and look at the pronunciation. Wrinkle. Again, look at the spelling and then look at the pronunciation. Wrist, thumb, knee, knuckle, calf, and muscle. Okay, so it's a good idea to pause the slide here and try practice saying these words yourself. What do you notice about the difference with the spelling and the pronunciation? Well, hopefully you notice that each of these words has a letter which is silent. And by silent, I mean that we don't pronounce it. This is quite a common feature in English. We often have letters in the words that we don't pronounce when we are speaking. So what I'd like you to do is, again, try saying these words, and for each word, can you tell me which letter is silent? Which letter do you not pronounce? I'll read those to you one more time. Palm, wrinkle, wrist, thumb, knee, knuckle, calf, and muscle. Pause the slide and see if you can identify which are the silent letters. Okay, let's have a look at how you did. So the first word, palm, the L is silent. You do not say palm. The L is not pronounced. Palm. Palm is this part of your hand. Second, wrinkle. Again, this is quite common in English not to pronounce the W. So we say wrinkle. Wrinkle are the fine lines on your face that you get as you age. These are wrinkles. Again, with wrist, we don't pronounce the W. We don't say wrist. The W is silent. Thumb, the B is silent. This is your thumb here. You have 4 fingers and a thumb. Knee and knuckle. We have silent Ks. It's not knee, it's not knuckle. Silent Ks, again, a very common feature of English. Think of the word knife, for example. The K is silent again. Knee is the joint between your top and lower leg. And knuckle is this part, these on your hand. These are your knuckles here. Okay, and the last two, calf has a silent L. It's not calf. Calf. Calf is the back of your lower leg. And muscle with a silent C. Muscle, not muscle, muscle. Yes, so if you work out a lot, if you go to the gym, you can build your muscles. So when you're learning English, if you use a good online dictionary, they will have the phonetic transcript, which is very important when you're thinking about how to pronounce a word. Often with English, the pronunciation is very different to how it's spelt, and this can be really challenging. So it's important to use a good online dictionary that has the phonetic transcript too, so you can see how to pronounce it. And nowadays, a lot of dictionaries also have an audio option, so you can click and it will play a recording of somebody saying the word. Remember, there are differences between British English pronunciation and American English pronunciation, but a good dictionary would highlight these differences for you. Okay, The final part of our lesson today is idiomatic expressions. Have a look at these idioms. Can you guess what they mean? Number 1, to put your foot in it. Number 2, to be up to your eyes in work. Number 3, to be all ears. Number 4, to get it off your chest. Number 5, to cost an arm and a leg. And number 6, to have cold feet. So they all have body parts in them: foot, eyes, ears, chest, arm, leg, feet. But what do these idiomatic expressions mean? I suggest you pause the slide, have a think. Have you heard of these before? If you haven't, do you have any idea? Can you imagine what they might mean? Okay, so I'm going to give you some meanings, but they're not matched with the idiomatic expression. So what you need to do is to try to match the idiomatic expression to the meaning. So we have the idioms 1 to 6 and meanings A to F. So let's look at the meanings. We have to be nervous before a big event. B, to be very expensive. C, to be extremely busy at work. D, to say something that upsets someone. E, to listen intently. And F, to confess something. So again, pause the slide, see if you can match the idiomatic expression with A, B, C, D, E, F. For example, number 1, to put your foot in it. What do you think it might mean? Okay, well, we'll have a look together because idiomatic expressions can be quite tricky to guess if you don't know. So let's have a look at the answers. Okay, so number 1, to put your foot in it is to say something that upsets someone. And this is done accidentally. If you accidentally say something that upsets someone, you put your foot in it. Number 2, to be up to your eyes in work means to be extremely busy. If you have all the paper in front of you, it's up to your eyes, you're extremely busy. Number 3, you could have guessed perhaps to be all ears because it's connected to listening. So if you listen to someone intently with great focus, you can say, I'm all ears. If you get something off your chest, you confess something. Makes you feel better to get it off your chest. If you have a big secret or something that's worrying you and you release it, you get it off your chest, you confess something. Number 5, to cost an arm and a leg means to be very expensive. And number 6, to have cold feet means to be nervous before a big event, and often that you don't go through with it. You're so nervous you are unable to continue. So had you heard of any of those before? Well, I think the thing with idiomatic expressions, they're very nice to use, they're very natural, but only if you use them correctly. If you use them incorrectly, it makes your English sound very unnatural and rather fake. So it's very important when you think of idiomatic expressions to understand exactly how they are used, in what context you can use them. So that's why it's really important to practice before you try to use them in your speech, which is what we're going to do now. So, complete the idiom with a body part. So there are 6 idioms we've just looked at. Number 1, that restaurant is amazing, but it costs an and a. Number 2, he got cold before giving his presentation at the conference. Number 3, I really put my in it when I accidentally revealed he hadn't got the job. Number 4, I'd love to meet for dinner, but I'm up to my in work. Speak to your boss. You'll feel better if you get it off your... And number 6, okay, I'm all... You have my undivided attention. Pause the slide and see if you can input the correct body part to complete the idiom. Okay, let's have a look together. This is what you should have written. 1, the restaurant is amazing, but it costs an arm and a leg. Number 2, he got cold feet before giving his presentation at the conference. Number 3, I really put my foot in it when I accidentally revealed he hadn't got the job. Number 4, I'd love to meet for dinner, but I'm up to my eyes in work. Number 5, speak to your boss. You'll feel better if you get it off your chest. And number 6, okay, I'm all ears. You have my undivided attention. Well done if you got those correct. Okay, so for the final part of the lesson, I'm going to ask you about you. And as I just said, it's very important with idiomatic expressions that you practice to understand how they're used. So I have some discussion questions for you that all use an idiomatic expression. Number 1. What do you think costs an arm and a leg nowadays? Number 2. How can you stop getting cold feet before a big event? Number 3. Have you ever put your foot in it? Number 4. Are you up to your eyes in work at the moment? Number 5. When was the last time you got something off your chest? And number 6. Do you try to be all ears when someone is talking to you? So, what I'd like you to do is to think about your answers, and when you're writing your answer, try to use the idiomatic expression. As we said before, the more you practice, the more comfortable you will become with it, and the more likely you will be to use it in the right way. If you would like to have your answers checked, if you would like to share your answers with me, please send them in to Perfectly Spoken. Remember, if you do decide to do this, in your email, please put level B2 lesson 29 so that it will come through to me. If you'd like to do that, I would be very happy to have a look at your answers and very interested as well. So these are the questions. Pause the slide, write down your answers. And that's the end of lesson 29. I hope you enjoyed it. I think it's a really interesting topic. Our next lesson, lesson 30, is going to be a review lesson. So we'll be looking back at lessons 26, 27, 28 and 29, and we'll be reviewing what we covered. So it will be a mix of grammar and vocabulary. Review is really important, so I hope to see you in lesson 30. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye for now.